Well, we must be getting close to the election now because, I mean, we've got announcements and policies that are coming thick and fast. Now, you had one yesterday, $30,000 help for small businesses. Given that thousands of businesses have already folded in the past year, and that's no fault of yours, but help with a free lunch or tax breaks for lunches, how many of those businesses do you think that'll save?
Well, small businesses we know are doing it tough, and particularly we're seeing high rates of insolvency in small businesses, about 3 times the average of insolvencies under this Labor government. This announcement yesterday is a $20,000 tax deduction for small businesses who want to take their employees or their staff or their clients out to lunch, back into cafes, back into restaurants and pubs. And this helps not just the small businesses, but it also helps that hospitality industry who have really been at the front line of the cost of doing business crisis and the changes that we've seen in consumer behaviour because of rising prices, rising inflation and cost of living
would attention
pressures.
not be better placed elsewhere to help those businesses though?
Well, this is practical help. This is going to help those employees and employers of those small businesses, bringing people back into the office and then rewarding those employees with, when somebody has a baby or retires or the end of the financial year, bringing those employees out to those hospitality businesses, helping the hospitality businesses as well that have seen such a drop-off in their business and a change in the way that people are consuming their businesses.
But that's for bosses, it seems. But what about
on the ground?
What about staff? How does that help them afford groceries?
No, it's for employees too. No, that's for employees too. It allows those businesses to reward their employees. It makes the workplace a better place too. But most importantly, it's there for those hospitality businesses, the ones that have been talking about laying off staff. They're the ones that have been at the front line of Labor's changes to industrial relations laws. They're the ones that are really struggling with those rising prices from energies, from rents, from insurances. But their margins are being squeezed. It's the small business owner that is being squeezed here. So this is practical assistance for them. It's very limited. It's only $20,000 tax deductibility a year, but we think it will make a practical difference to both the small businesses and to the hospitality sector that have been crying out for help from this government, but have yet to had any assistance whatsoever.
Is it 20 or 30?
It's 20.
Okay. My mistake. I had 30. Anyway, Jim Chalmers.
That's okay.
His super tax plan is in trouble for the accounts above $3 million. The concern from crossbenchers is from taxing unrealised gains. I've had many questions over this one, Jane. The main lingering one is how can you tax something that hasn't happened yet? It seems as though a lot of people, particularly the crossbenchers, aren't buying it.
This is a very good question, Pete. This is a policy that should have been doomed from the start. To begin with, it was a broken promise. Labor said going into the last election that there would be no changes to tax, no changes to superannuation. Yet this was the first policy that they announced. It's a tax on unrealised capital gains. It would be the first time that your profits have been taxed before you actually made any profits. It's a brand new kind of tax, one we haven't seen in Australia before, one that hasn't worked in any other jurisdiction. And it's not indexed. So if you're a young person starting work today and you earn the average wage throughout your life, by the time you retire, this tax will affect you. This was a terrible idea from go to woe. The Coalition have said that not only would we vote against it, but should it pass and we get into government, then we will repeal this terrible Labor tax, this terrible broken promise. Labor are completely discredited whenever they now promise that there'll be no changes to taxation, no changes to superannuation, or $275 reduction in your energy bills. You know that they are lying. So what is it that they're going to be lying about in the lead up to this next election?
The Democrats tried this on at the last US election, taxing unrealised gains. Didn't work so well.
How'd that work out for them?
Yeah, not so well. Okay, good to see you, Jane. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.